What's up, everybody? So welcome back to my channel, Green Man Grow 7. I am Sean Knight, and today we have an alocasia. Now this is the second alocasia that I have featured on my channel, and I'm hoping that it comes across, since I have the green background, it may come across green, but it's not. It's actually gray. And so this is the Alocasia Silver Dragon. And this is one of my favorites, and I'm going to tell you why, and I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot. This plant has never given me problems. But look at that, the texture of it. And so if you were to touch the leaves, if you have never seen this in person, or if you've never had the opportunity to be around one of these, the leaves are hard. And so somebody once said they like leather. Like cardboard, literally like cardboard, but they are amazing. And I'm going to give some care tips about this plant since I've had it, what I've been doing to care for this plant and to keep it healthy. And look at the stems. Look how much it's grown. So when I first got it, it was like around here. And so this is the oldest leaf. This is the newest leaf. And look how the newest leaf is almost outgrowing in the stem height the leaf that's been here. And then this leaf next to it, and then this leaf. And so it's really been growing since I've had it. One thing I will say about alocasias, and this will go across the board, alocasias are finicky. So a lot of people, if you know anything about fiddle leaf figs, if you know anything about ficuses, those are some finicky plants in regards to, if you move them, they will be in a tantrum. They will throw their leaves, they will drop leaves like nobody business, and let you know that they do not appreciate being moved from the spot that they are happy in. The alocasias are not like that, but the alocasias are, you have to learn their rhythm. And I had to learn the rhythm. It's, first of all, it's with the water. The soil has to be a soil that is chunky, that is filled with things like perlite, like orchid bark, like all of those different things to make it. And I said this in another video. For those of you who don't know, when you have soil, oftentimes the soil is compactive. So it gathers itself around the roots of a plant or a tree. And that's what it does. So when you water it, the water seeps through, it gets through, but then the soil holds on to the roots with all of that water and drowns the plant. And that's why the plants die. And that's what we call root rot. When you have chunky soil, think about this being the soil that's chunky and my fist being the roots. It wraps around like this to allow water to go through. If you don't have that for the alocasias and you water this plant and it gets too much water, it's going to die. It's going to drop leaves. It's just going to be finicky. It's going to show you and tell you, this is not it. And so, and then the other thing is how much you water it. So I'm on a schedule. I don't know if, let me take this out. You know, you have the pot, nice pot, but then you have the pot that you're working with on the inside. And so I'm gonna see if I can you see that? Where you can see the chunky bits in there, and you can see the different pieces of bark and things. So this is not just soil, it's other things in there, because the alocasias like that allows this plant to be able to breathe and allow this plant to be able to gather the nutrients it needs from the water and the water that it requires. And then another thing is, you see how chunky the stems are? Well, the alocasia holds water within the stems. And so as a result, we have to think about it from the component. There's water here and there's water in the soil. When the soil starts to dry, it's holding water here so that it can utilize that nutrient, it can utilize that moisture. If you put too much water here while there's still water here, it's going to drown. That's one thing. The other thing that many people who know anything about alocasias can tell you is that for some reason, and I still have not figured out why, and these things attract spider mites. And so what I've been doing is being proactive instead of waiting for a cure to deal with the spider mites once they get here. So I've been making up a mixture of different things, and I'll talk about that in another video. But that allows me to wipe down the leaves, the top and the underneath of the leaf, wipe down the stem and spray a little bit on the soil so that it keeps things away and at bay, so that I have prevention instead of needing a cure. But I don't know why these plants particularly, they attract spider mites. And they normally attract spider mites when they are not happy and when they're not doing well. Another thing is that these are tropical plants, and being such, they like their temperatures to be about 60 to about 90, and they love humidity. And so I have to ensure that my loft is humid enough for the plants so that they can thrive. And when they thrive, they look like this and they grow. And when they don't, and I have an alocasia right now, another alocasia that's a dragon scale, it's not doing well because for whatever reason, I moved it and I put it in a different spot, and it was like, you shouldn't have moved me. And so I'm telling you all of these things. So if you are a person who has an alocasia and it's just not working for you, try those different things. If you don't have a humidifier, and I'm going to give you something that's my personal preference. I'm not going to say that this is the way it should be, but it's my personal preference. I don't spray my plants. I get a humidifier, and if I don't have a humidifier, then I get the pebbles and I put it in a tray. I pour a little water and put the plant on top, that the bottom of the plant is not absorbing the water. But what happens is, as the water evaporates, it's sending up humidity to the plant. So if you don't have a humidifier, you can use that technique. The reason why I don't mist and spray my plants is because oftentimes they can get fungus. And if the leaves get fungus, it'll eat away at the plant, and then the fungus can spread to other plants that you have in your collection in your home. So that's just a little tidbit I wanted to give to you. But yeah, the Alocasia Silver Dragon. And I love this plant because, like I said, knock on wood, you know, when you say stuff, sometimes that's when the opposite happens. This plant has never given me any problems for as long as I've had it. It's done nothing but look good and grow. And I'm appreciative because I give it a lot of attention in terms of watching it, watching the soil to make sure that it's not dry, because that's another thing about alocasias. They don't want their soil to dry out, but they don't want their soil to be wet. They want it to be moist. And so as a result, I find myself watering this plant 2, sometimes 3 times a week, because I give it enough that the soil is moist, not wet, and then it'll dry out a little quicker. Then I'll give it a little more water so that the soil is moist, not wet, and then I just watch it. And so as a result, that's just, you know, what it is. But it's a beautiful plant. I love alocasias. I have about 9 different versions. And like I said, one of my very first videos, and I'll link it here so that you can see, is a different alocasia, but I love them. But they're finicky, so finicky. And I'm still learning. I mean, nobody can say that they are a master at nature. We really can't. We can just say that we have more of a green thumb with a specific plant or a specific genus of plants, but look at that. I just love it. Something special. So again, this is Sean Knight, and I want to thank all of you for watching my videos. If you have not, subscribe, like, and share. Peace.